In previous video, we have discussed about components of blood and clotting in detail. Please watch that video if you haven't already watched. You can click on the I button above to go to that video. Today we will be learning about concept of blood group systems in detail. By the end of the video, we shall have sufficient knowledge about the various blood group systems, how blood can be transferred, and what problems we go through during transfusion. Have you ever wondered why do we need blood group system? It is because when we undergo blood transfusion, it's very important that we receive blood that is compatible with our blood group. And if the blood group that we receive is not compatible with our blood group, it can result into clumping of blood cells inside the body, which can ultimately lead to fatal conditions, including death. There are around 33 different blood grouping systems recognized so far. Some important blood group systems are ABO system, H antigen system, rhesus factor system, MMS antigen system, Lutheran system, Kell system, Duffy system, and KID system. Today we will discuss about ABO system and rhesus factor system because they are most important and widely used systems for safe blood transfusion. Let's discuss about ABO group system. So, who discovered the ABO blood group system? The ABO group system was discovered by Karl Landsteiner. There are four main blood groups that are A, B, AB, and O in ABO group system. Our blood group is determined by the genes we inherit from our parents. How do we know which blood group do we belong to? A very important point we need to know is that the antigens are found on the surface of red blood cells and antibodies are found in plasma. Antigens are proteins that act as cell surface markers for blood groups. Our blood group is based upon the type of antigens present in the blood. Let's see how antigens determine our blood groups. Here we denote antigen with Ag. If the red blood cells contain antigen A, then the blood group is A. If the red blood cells contain antigen B, then the blood group is B. If the red blood cells contain antigen AB, then the blood group is AB. And if the red blood cells contain no antigens, it is called group O. Actually, the O blood group is called group 0, as it has 0 antigens on its RBCs, but we call it O group because we denote all other blood groups alphabetically. Now let's look into the antibodies that our plasma contain. We denote antibody with AN. We can see that blood groups have antibodies against antigens of other blood groups. For an example, if we belong to blood group A, our blood will not recognize antigens of blood group B, so it forms antibodies against antigens of B. This means if person having blood group A receives blood from blood group B, the antibodies that group A contain will not recognize the antigens of group B, and it will form antibodies against antigens of B, and gradually attach to them, which will cause clumping and cause fatal conditions. We will discuss other terrible consequences later in the video. So group A will have antibodies against antigens of group B. Similarly, if we belong to blood group B, it will not recognize the antigens of group A, so we produce antibodies against antigens of blood group A. If we belong to blood group AB, our blood recognizes both blood groups A and B, so we don't produce antibodies against anyone. This is why people with blood group AB are considered to have relatively weaker immune system as compared to other blood groups, since they have no antibodies. If we belong to blood group O, we have antibodies against antigens of blood group A and B both. This is because group O doesn't have antigens on them, and it will not recognize other antigens of other groups. As blood group O has 0 number of antigens, it is named as blood group 0, but all other blood groups are named alphabetically, so we call it group O rather than group 0. People with blood group O are considered to have relatively stronger immune systems than other blood groups as they contain 2 types of antibodies. So we can conclude that the antibodies on each blood group are formed against the antigens of other blood groups. Now we will look into blood transfusion and its order. Let's start with blood group A. What blood groups can group A donate to? Group A can donate blood to group A and group AB. Let's see how it works. Group A can donate blood to group A because they have same antigens in them. The recipient group A will recognize the A antigens of donor group A and will not produce any antibody. Group A can donate to group AB because the A antigen of recipient AB group will recognize the A antigen of donor group A and will not form any antibody against it. Now let's see what groups can group A receive from. Group A can receive blood from A and O. Let's see how it works. Group A can receive blood from group A because the recipient A group has same antigens as donor A group. The recipient group A will recognize the antigens in donor A group and will not produce any antibody against it. Group A can receive blood from group O. This is because the donor group O doesn't have any antigens on them, so the recipient group A doesn't form any antibody against donor group O. Next, we will discuss about group B. Let's see what blood groups can group B donate to. Group B can donate blood to group B and group AB. Let's see how it works. Group B can donate blood to group B because they have same antigens in them. The recipient group B will recognize the B antigens of donor group B and will not produce any antibody. Group B can donate to group AB because the B antigen of recipient AB group will recognize the B antigen of donor group B and will not form any antibody against it. Now let's see what groups can group B receive from. Group B can receive blood from B and O. Let's see how it works. Group B can receive blood from group B because the recipient B group has same antigens as donor B group. The recipient group B will recognize the antigens in donor B group and will not produce any antibody against it. Group B can receive blood from group O. This is because the donor group O doesn't have any antigens on them, so the recipient group B doesn't form any antibody against donor group O. Next, we will discuss about group AB. Let's see what blood groups can group AB donate to. Group AB can donate blood to group AB only. Let's see how it works. Group AB can donate to group AB only because the recipient group AB has same antigens as donor AB group. The recipient AB group will not produce any antigens against the donor AB group. Now let's see what groups can group AB receive from. Group AB can receive blood from A, B, AB, and O. Let's see how it works. Group AB can receive blood from group A because the antigen A of recipient group AB recognizes the antigens of donor group A. The recipient group AB will not produce any antibody against donor group A. Similarly, group AB can receive blood from group B because the antigen B of recipient group AB recognizes the antigens of donor group B. The recipient group AB will not produce any antibody against donor group B. Group AB can receive blood from group AB because they both have the same antigens. Hence, they will not produce any antibodies against each other. Group AB can receive blood from group O. This is because the donor group O doesn't have any antigens on them, so the recipient group AB doesn't form any antigen against it. Since group AB can receive blood from all the groups, it is called universal recipient group. Well, actually, the universal recipient blood group is AB positive. We will discuss this further in rhesus systems. Next, we will discuss about group O. First, let's see what groups can group O donate to. Group O can donate blood to A, B, AB, and O. Let's see how it works. Group O can donate blood to group A because the donor group O doesn't have any antigens, so the recipient group A will not produce any antibody. Similarly, group O can donate blood to group B because the donor group O doesn't have any antigen, so the recipient group B will not produce any antibody. Group O can donate blood to group AB because the donor group O doesn't have any antigens, so the recipient group AB will not produce any antibody. Group O can donate blood to group O because they both lack antigens, which doesn't trigger any of them to produce antibodies. They are like cool friends. Since group O can donate blood to all other groups, it is called universal donor group. Well, actually, the universal donor blood group is O negative. We will discuss this further in rhesus systems. Let's see what blood groups can group O receive from. Group O can receive blood from group O only. Let's see how it works. Group O can receive from group O only because the recipient group O has same antigens as donor group O. The recipient group O will not produce any antibodies against the donor group O. Now we have completed the transfusion of ABO blood group system. Next we will discuss about mismatching of ABO blood groups. Let's understand this with the help of an experiment. Let's take some blood of group A in a test tube and mix it with blood of group B. The red blood cells of group A contain antigen A, and the red blood cells of group B have antigen B. Blood of group A will not recognize the antigen of group B, and it will start forming antibodies. The antibodies of group A will attach themselves to the unknown antigens of group B to fight them. This will create an antigen-antibodies reaction which will result into clumping of red blood cells. The blood will slowly coagulate like curd or jelly. This clotted red blood cells create blockages in the capillaries which can stop blood circulation in the body, ultimately leading to death. That's why it is very crucial to match the blood groups before transfusion. So, clumping of red blood cells happens when there is mismatching of blood groups. This process is called agglutination. Let's understand agglutination with the help of some examples. So, why can't group AB donate blood to any other group? Let's see this in detail. If group AB donates to group A, the recipient group A does not recognize the B antigens present in donor group AB and starts producing antibodies against B antigens of donor group AB. This will create clumping, which is lethal. That is why AB group cannot donate to blood group A. We conclude that group AB cannot donate blood to groups A, B, and O because of antigen incompatibility. So why can't group O receive blood from any other group? Let's see this in detail. If group O receives from group A, the recipient group O does not recognize the A antigens present in donor group A and starts producing antibodies against antigens of donor group A. That is why group O cannot receive from group A. We conclude that group O cannot receive blood from groups A, B, and AB because of antigen incompatibility. We have gained enough information about ABO group system. Now let's discuss about rhesus blood group system. Rhesus blood group system was discovered by Alexander Wiener and Karl Landsteiner. I guess they were cool and chillaxed friends. Anyways, rhesus factor is denoted as Rh. It was first discovered in rhesus monkey, that's why it's called rhesus. Rhesus factors are of two types. They are rhesus positive and rhesus negative, so each blood group in ABO blood group system may have either positive or negative Rh factor according to antigens present in them. If we have rhesus factor in our blood group is considered as rhesus positive blood group. For an example, if I have blood group A and the rhesus factor is present in my blood, the blood group will be called A positive. Same goes for all the other blood groups like B positive, AB positive, and O positive. If we don't have rhesus factor in our blood group is considered as rhesus negative blood group. For an example, if I have blood group A and the rhesus factor is absent in my blood, the blood group will be called A negative. Same goes for all the other blood groups like B negative, AB negative, and O negative. Now we will see how blood matching works on the basis of rhesus factor. We know that the blood group with positive rhesus factor has Rh antigens, and the blood group with negative rhesus factor have no antigens in them. Let's see what blood groups Rh positive can receive from. If we transfuse blood from one Rh positive to another Rh positive, the Rh positive blood will not produce any kind of antibodies against antigens of another Rh positive blood because they both have same type of antigens. So Rh positive can receive from Rh positive. If we transfuse blood from Rh negative to Rh positive will not produce antibodies against Rh negative blood because Rh negative blood don't have antigens on them. So Rh positive can receive from Rh negative. Let's see what blood groups Rh negative can receive from. The Rh negative blood doesn't have antigens and will not recognize another blood with antigens, so it will produce antibodies. If we transfer Rh positive blood to Rh negative, the Rh negative will start producing antibodies against Rh antigens of Rh positive. Therefore, Rh negative will not be able to receive from Rh positive. If we transfer Rh negative blood to Rh negative, the recipient Rh negative will not produce antibodies against donor Rh negative, as they both have no antigens on them. Therefore, Rh negative will be able to receive from Rh negative. Now let's see what blood groups Rh positive can donate to. The Rh positive blood will be able to donate blood to Rh positive as they have same antigens and will not produce antibodies against each other. Rh positive blood cannot be donated to Rh negative because Rh positive have antigens on them, which will trigger Rh negative to produce antibodies. This happens because the Rh negative doesn't recognize the antigens of Rh positive. That is why Rh positive can donate to Rh positive only. Next, let's see what blood groups Rh negative can donate to. The Rh negative blood will be able to donate blood to Rh positive and Rh negative both. Let's see how the Rh negative does not have any antigens on them. So if it is transferred to Rh positive, the Rh positive will not produce antibodies. Next, the Rh negative blood can be transferred to another Rh negative as they both lack antigens and will not produce antibodies against each other. That is why the Rh negative blood will be able to donate to Rh positive and Rh negative both. Now we know that there are 4 major blood groups, A, B, AB, and O, and with 2 types of rhesus factors each, we get altogether 8 blood groups. The groups are A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, and O negative. We consider both blood group systems, ABO system and rhesus system, to determine the perfect scenario for transfusion of blood. Let's understand this with the help of some brain-tickling questions. This will be fun. Number 1, which blood groups can A positive donate to and receive from? We know that blood group A can donate blood to A and AB, whereas Rh positive can donate only to Rh positive. So group A positive will be able to donate to A positive and AB positive. Next, we know that blood group A can receive from A and O, whereas Rh positive can receive from Rh positive and Rh negative both. So group A positive will be able to receive from A positive, A negative, O positive, and O negative. Number 2, which blood groups can A negative donate to and receive from? We know that blood group A can donate blood to A and AB, whereas Rh negative can donate to Rh positive and Rh negative both. So group A positive will be able to donate to A positive, A negative, AB positive, and AB negative. Next, we know that blood group A can receive from A and O, whereas Rh negative can receive from Rh negative only. So group A negative will be able to receive from A negative and O negative. Number 3, which blood groups can AB positive and AB negative receive from? Let's look into AB negative first. As we know, group AB can receive blood from all other blood groups, whereas the Rh negative can receive from Rh negative only. Therefore, AB negative can receive blood from only Rh negatives of all other blood groups. Next, let's look at AB positive. As we know, group AB can receive blood from all other blood groups, whereas the Rh positive can receive from Rh positive and Rh negative both. Therefore, AB positive can receive blood from positives and negatives of all blood groups. Since AB positive can receive blood from Rh positives and Rh negatives of all other blood groups, it is called universal recipient blood group, whereas AB negative can receive blood from only Rh negatives of all other blood groups. That's why AB negative is not universal recipient. Number 4, which blood groups can O positive and O negative donate to? First, let's look at O positive. As we know, group O can donate blood to all other blood groups, whereas the Rh positive can only donate to Rh positive. Therefore, O positive can donate blood to only Rh positives of all blood groups. Next, let's look at O negative. We know group O can donate blood to all other blood groups, whereas the Rh negative can donate to Rh positive and Rh negative both. Therefore, O positive can donate blood to Rh positives and Rh negatives of all blood groups. Since group O negative can donate to Rh positives and Rh negatives of all other blood groups, it is called universal donor blood group, whereas group O positive can donate blood only to Rh positives of other blood groups. It is not a universal donor group. I believe that the questions that we discussed are helpful to understand blood grouping and matching systems. Now we will discuss about Rh, incompatibility. Rh incompatibility occurs when a pregnant woman has Rh negative blood group, while the baby inside her has Rh positive blood group. To understand how Rh incompatibility occurs, let's look into a chart first. Here we have father, mother, and the baby. Keep in mind that if any one of the parents are positive, the baby will be positive. Let us see how it works. If the mother is positive and father is positive, the baby will be positive. If the mother is negative and father is also negative, the baby will be negative. If the mother is positive and father is negative, the baby will be positive. If the mother is negative and father is positive, the baby will be positive. So we can see that if either of the parents are positive, the baby will be positive. Now let's forget the father genes for some time and see the compatibility of mother and baby. In case number 1, we can see that the mother is positive and the baby is also positive. They are compatible. In case number 2, the mother is negative and the baby is also negative. They are compatible. In case number 3, the mother is positive and the baby is also positive. They are compatible. In case number 4, the mother is negative, but the baby is positive. This is where the problem arises. When the mother is negative and the baby is positive, it causes Rh incompatibility. Rh incompatibility can lead to very serious consequences like erythroblastosis, fetalsis. It is also called HDN, that is, hemolytic disease of newborn. Let's look at the illustrated process of Rh incompatibility. This is a figure for belly of pregnant woman. Let's suppose she is Rh negative and she is having a fetus that is Rh positive. A placenta develops in between mother and fetus. Inside placenta, the blood vessels of mother and baby are very close to each other, but the capillaries of mother are separate from capillaries of fetus, so the blood of these capillaries don't come in contact with each other. But the walls of the capillaries are extremely thin, which causes gaseous and nutritional transport between mother's capillaries and fetus's capillaries. Now let's see what happens during first pregnancy of Rh incompatibility. During the time of delivery, the baby's blood can get mixed with mother's blood when we cut the umbilical cord. If the baby's blood comes in contact with mother's blood, the mother's blood will start producing antibodies against the baby's blood. The first antibodies that will be produced are IgM antibodies. IgM antibody is the largest antibody. This antibody cannot cross placenta. This will not cause any complication, so the first pregnancy will be normal. Next, let's look what happens during second pregnancy and other pregnancies following it, like third, fourth, and so on. All the pregnancies after first one will result in still babies. That means they will deliver dead babies. Let's see why this happens. During second pregnancy and onwards, if the mother's negative blood comes in contact with baby's positive blood, they will start producing stronger antibodies this time. The antibody that mother's blood forms is IgG antibody. This antibody is the smallest antibody. It can easily penetrate placenta and enter fetus. This IgG antibody destroys the red blood cells of baby, which leads to 2 conditions. The destruction of RBCs causes severe anemia. This results into destruction of hemoglobin, which produces toxic enzymes like bile, which contain bilirubin and biliverdin. The toxicity of bile will cause jaundice in the baby, which will gradually cause the fetus or baby to die inside the womb. So because of severe anemia and jaundice, stillbirth occurs. We need to keep in mind that in these stages the erythrocytes get destroyed, so it is called erythroblastosis fetalsis. In erythroblastosis fetalsis, erythroblast means immature erythrocytes, which is produced in great speed, and the baby's blood gets full of immature erythrocytes, which causes fatal complications. Next, the hemoglobins get destroyed. That is why it is called hemolytic disease of newborn. In hemolytic disease of newborn, hemo means hemoglobin, and lytic means lysis, which means destruction. We can conclude that when the father is positive and mother is negative, the baby will be positive, which will cause Rh incompatibility between mother and baby. In this case, only the first pregnancy will be normal, but all other pregnancies after first one will result into stillbirth or dead babies. Anyways, there is no need to fear because Rogum vaccine is here. Rogum vaccine can make all the pregnancies after first one to be normal. Now we have completed blood groups in detail. Thank you for watching. I hope this video is useful. Please provide your feedbacks and questions in the comment box below. If you want to keep watching videos like this, please support me by hitting the like button and please subscribe to my channel. See you again with another video.